Hello. Hi. Shalom and grace. If you're new to my channel, thank you so much for subscribing and watching. And thank you all who comment, because it's the comment section that's really, it's amazing. I love the people who comment on my videos, and I'm learning so much, and you're helping me and we're helping each other. And that's really, because I really try to check in and ask myself, why am I doing this? Like, why did I start doing this? I mean, in the beginning, it was just to kind of get my story out, like, blah, if it helps somebody, fine, whatever. But I just want to really say that I take this seriously, sometimes a little too seriously, because I'm a very serious person, believe it or not. I'm very literal. But I take this seriously because whenever we are speaking our truth with intention and using words to create our reality, and people are choosing to spend their time to listen, I respect your time and I guess trust. Like, this is a relationship, and I've met multiple people as the result of putting myself out there, and Kat's one of the people. So if you're just recently joining me on this journey called TOE, Theory of Everything, this morning I was thinking I need to rename my YouTube channel because TOE is
because you're always having to explain it.
But that's okay, because
Is that all right?
It is what it is. I met a really dear person yesterday, and she's like, yeah, when you put it in the search, all these like nasty pictures of like toes and toe fungus pop up. And I'm like, ew. And I was thinking, well, maybe I should rename it Allie's 2 cents, because ultimately that's how I feel about anything I say. It's just my 2 cents.
I like that.
Take it or leave it.
Hey.
So I don't know, rename it Allie's 2 cents. But I also do like the thought of toes, because that's what we're all doing with each other. We're figuring out, and by we, predominantly people who tune into my channel are survivors of cults, specifically Jehovah's Witnesses, which is the cult we both came from and were actually born in from.
Which makes that very unique. That's a unique position to be in, to be speaking from, which I, never mind, no floor here yet, but that's what I'm saying. It is
And that's actually what this video is going to be about. After I just want to give a couple shout outs, is what this video is going to be about is the reality of the shaping of coming from a cult, especially as a born-in, and how it relates to dogs. And it's like a puppy mill that churns out Muppet puppy mill babies. And
Clones.
And all of this, like new relationships, friendships, conversations, is us learning how to be children again, just like Jesus said, be like little kids, be curious, ask questions, be like a child. But when you do that and you actually surrender to the process of doing the work, being a child, you're going to step on other people's toes. And there's a very black and white way of thinking when you come from a black and white world of cults where everything is us versus them, good, bad, wicked, righteous, etc., that it's like once you cross that line and you've stepped on the toe, it's like you're cut off. And instead of just saying, sorry, oops, I stepped on your toe, we throw people off cliffs.
Yes.
Or we get hyper offended. So that's part of what I'm currently processing. Kat and I just had like the craziest 3-hour conversation, because I think I still hold on. I have patterns are emerging where I'm noticing now and catching it of
in
midair where because I want to be liked by everybody, because I lost a whole community that I didn't even have to work for friendships with, because it was just automatic. Jehovah chose these people for you. So it's like you're just put in this box, cage, whatever, and like deal with it. And if you're not, accept the pedophiles, just forgive them, don't call the police, etc. That's a real thing. in the Jehovah's Witness community, which is being uncovered. But the point is, what's the point? We just had a really amazing 3 hour conversation.
Being real
because,
and truth. See, sometimes truth facing it is
being
very
real.
difficult.
Yeah.
It is. We avoid sometimes the road less traveled, which is that painful road. But it's the most necessary one. And I guess to tie in here is because of our oneness in dogs and relationships, learning and understanding that relationship with that other entity is important, and communication is important.
And letting yourself be
letting
awkward.
yourself be awkward. That's kind of what we talked about, was embracing awkward, because there's not one person that doesn't feel these things.
Because I didn't want to step on your toe.
She had something. It's like, I'm a drummer, right? And so I play drums, and I do it for therapy. And anyone who knows anything and has been on my Facebook channel or whatever, that's kind of my Facebook ministry, if you will. I go on there and it's therapy. It's tapping therapy. It started out, in fact, if you go back to the very beginning, I actually put on there, I was a goldsmith for 15 years in this chair, and I picked this chair up on the video and I'm swinging it over my head, and now I sit on it behind my therapy kit. And it started out only as tapping, and I wanted to share that with people because I know it works for me to help regulate my busy brain, because my brain's everywhere. Mm-hmm. She can attest to that.
And I started in training with her brain, and I just want to briefly define what I mean when I say entrainment. So, and this is, I think it's important to understand this concept, because this is what happens in groupthink and cults. And we're all in training with each other and with animals and with objects and with frequencies. And what it means, you walk into a clock store and there's all these cuckoo clocks with their pendulums. They have scientifically proven through observation, there's data, that all the clocks, even if they're set at opposite or different times, will eventually, I think it's within minutes, don't quote me, will entrain with the largest clock. And I believe this is the phenomena we're seeing in groups. The loudest voice, the most charismatic leader, the one with the most money, the big pendulum daddy clock. And if you don't understand how to critically think, pause, observe, and examine before you blurt out or follow, you're just going to fall in line. Mm-hmm. And a lot of my journey has just been processing it, awkwardness and all, and Kat has been a great coach, primarily through relationships, partnership. We call it Fitbitting with dogs.
Dog Fitbit.
We're dog Fitbits, and they allow us.
Yeah, well, they are. They're the grandest teachers. And see the parallel back again. Knowing we only have 20 minutes, I want to hit the highlights. The relationship between an animal, a different species. They're a different species to us, but to God, we are a different species altogether. So it kind of gives that humility and finds our ranking, because they have a system and an order. And when it's in clave and it's systematic and flows, everyone's happy. Mm-hmm. But when there's discord and confusion, it's like anything else. No one wants to pattern themselves after that. He's very sensitive. Benson's very environmentally sensitive. I respect him. He was a feral dog when I obtained him, and through him I learned many lessons. Patience is much needed in anything we do in life, and particularly when you're working with a different breed, species. But communication and understanding them is the most important, and I feel that's how that kind of goes all hand in hand with our relationship with our Heavenly Father. That's kind of how it all works.
And by having patience with your dog or your child, you are being grace and giving grace and healing yourself in the process too. Kind of relates to so maybe this video feels out of left field, and it always will, because we have, I'm right-handed, but we have, this could be a 3-hour video. But really, this is a reintroduction to my friend Kat. She has her own YouTube channel. Check it out, please. She's super creative. Sometimes I don't understand her, and
that was fun. You know, it took her how long? A year to tell me that.
Because I didn't want to hurt her feelings.
Right,
I didn't want to step on her toe.
But we came really full circle today in a 3-hour conversation. In essence, we communicated. She communicated her internal self and feelings and the words that she had to offer at that moment. But then after she expressed the 2 words, she then clarified it with the true meaning. And it was all blanketed with that she just didn't understand. Mm-hmm. And you see, here's the thing, is when things are different and new, or when you're creating something new, you're the first to do it. So you're out there exposed and naked to anyone to bash you or say they like it or don't. So, but that's not the whole point. The thing is, if you don't understand it and you're trying, I'm very forceful. So I was trying very desperately to, offer her something she didn't want. And she didn't want to hurt my feelings by saying, no, I don't want to do that. I mean, even a simple gesture of handing her a hat that she didn't want. She didn't even want to tell me, no, she didn't want that. So these are just little things in how we're learning. We're 12. Yeah. Learning how to engage. Because we, as in our early beginnings, pre-uteral, had issues. Then we come into a cult mind with no decision-making skills.
Born in a puppy mill.
Born in a puppy mill, just like Portia, who came from Wisconsin, shipped over here, confused.
Portia is this other dog.
Portia's down here in the blanket. I don't know if you can even see her. She's buried in there. You've seen her if you've seen my face.
It's the opening picture, yeah.
The opening picture. But you see that everything is just hand in hand. And meeting Allie, I knew that this merger would be a success when I saw her on the floor doing a video with her dogs, talking from her heart. So I know the potential of all of it is there. And learning awkward and walking through things that are awkward, it just takes time and patience. How easy is it for you to walk up to someone and you do feel love for them and say, what a kind person you are. I love that. That's a gesture sometimes we want to do, but we don't. Practicing those things would be something a child would do. That's why everything Jesus did was geared towards that mind of a child. So he promised it. And in doing so, we find shalom so easily when you're in step with the designer. This is how we are designed, and that's why when we get sad or whatever, we run outside. I mean, the only good thing about this coronavirus is what they're telling us to do. Pause. Go outside. Give yourself some space.
Like in nature.
Heal. Yeah. Like in nature. Go to the source, because we're now having to think collectively so we can stop the spread of this virus and think mathematically in order to do that, because we have the power to do that if we choose to.
And if everybody cooperates.
And if everyone would just cooperate and realize and not throw some, banner up saying, we're being discriminated against because we can't express. Well, look, we're at critical times. Hard to deal with are here. And we need each other to get through it. If we
and when we say that, or when I say that, critical times hard to deal with, maybe that's a trigger. That doesn't mean...
Well, I mean, it's hard times. Face it.
Right, and there's always going to be a critical, hard time.
But this is massive. From 4 corners of the earth, we've never seen anything we're dealing with in our planet today. So I'm grateful to have a core nucleus from which to spawn from of truth, because under this roof, that's all there is. And sometimes truth is hard, and facing it is hard. But I'm a survivor like you. And those who are out there in that community, yes, and those in the community who have skirted death, who have looked it in the face and thought, better option perhaps. I'm one of those. I was attempting it several times. And to a point where this last one was one I decided after I was collected and gathered in a graceful basket of glory, to be able to have an opportunity to know me and to be able to share this if it helps one. And I can actually say from the bottom of my heart that my family, some members have seen that Facebook page that I have. I also have a person, I don't know their name, but they are now with one of the people that helped and very instrumental in helping me come to my full circle in equilibrium. She's there in therapy right now, getting the healing necessary.
What are you referring to right now? For people who don't.
For Southwest Ranches, Florida.
Yeah.
She went to get some help because a lot of us need more than what we've never been told what we need.
And so I just want to interject and say, if anything
you don't understand, we'll explain.
reach out to Kat.
I'm here. I want to help.
Right now, my dance. Yeah, right now, I just have to say, like, my dance card is full.
Yes.
We had a very healing, necessary day yesterday where we met some fellow JW World survivors.
Yes, because I don't like X. I don't like X. The X everything.
And it just became clear that I've been procrastinating on things I want to do for myself. And Kat is an amazing resource for anybody watching right now. So do you feel comfortable putting your email address below? Or?
Sure. Well, you know what? No. Let's not like.
But anyway,
but you know what? If on this channel, let me explain first, because so that you'll know in a nutshell, I was never on Facebook. I did this for the purpose of reaching my family because of the information that I have. So I've been collecting data for years.
Your JW family.
My JW family, because they're all still in. I'm out. Yesterday I met people who knew every family member and still have lunch with some of that family member. That was the best glorious day of my life yesterday to date, because I've been praying intently on how to reach my family, because this is important to a survivor. I've survived. I'm alive, and breathing and upright, and I have a family that I love, and I'm not going to stop speaking my truth to them because I love them. I want them to know I'm happy. I have peace. I have focus. I have the ability to make up my own mind and to say no or yes or whatever, or just to respectfully decline. Because I can. Mm-hmm. And those are our choices.
And that's not a rejection of the person.
It is not anything to anyone to take personal.
Yeah.
So that is how I've done that. So if you visit that, talk to me on there, and then we'll make personal arrangements, because I've done that. You've done that.
Yeah, because Kat really wants to open up her home to be like
I want this to
a
be
haven for fellowship and community and growth and work on.
I dedicate it to being just yourself and original and thriving, and the ability for you to see in yourself that you can, because too many people believe they can't, and the reasons are valid and real that led you to that. And when you're born in this cult mind, we need each other as a community to help peer through these hard places that are difficult to reach. So I may not have the answers, but I certainly am caring enough to get you to where you might need to
Networking.
be. Networking only,
networking.
because the biggest thing of all is to be kind and to share those skills. And I'm here to do that if I can.
So we're all in process,
One day
reclaiming
at a time.
our inner children, and closing the beautiful children. One of the many highlights of this very short trip was seeing the beauty, innocence, and possibility in the eyes of a 6-year-old whose parents freed themselves from the cult, and thereby giving the next generation, the kids, opportunities that we didn't have. And I don't live from regret anymore. I choose to not regret the cult life I came from.
It's hard.
Because I have certain skills and tools only because I came from that. But seeing that beautiful little girl yesterday, it told me everything is going to be okay. And exercising patience isn't easy, but everything is going to be okay. And I just wanted to kind of close out with this beautiful little piece of artwork that she gave me, and just keep hanging in there and talk and say hi to people. Thank you.
She's the same age as I was.